Kia ora and welcome to the ACC's new netball podcast, Court Session. We're coming to you from the Export Beer Garden. My name is Sam Winders, and here with me is my vivacious and lovely friend, Erena Mikaere. And we're here to talk Netball World Cup, which kicks off this weekend in South Africa. And I guess we'll just be chatting everything from the trophy to the wooden spoon and everything in between. What do you reckon, eh?
What up? Yeah, I don't know too much of anything really, Sammy. So I'm happy to be here. Just happy to be here. That's what they always say.
You're a netball expert, Erena. Don't downplay yourself.
Thanks, Sammy.
You've been around for long enough, haven't you?
Oh, cut me deep. That's what the briefing suggested. So I guess so. I'm an expert now.
Yeah. So how many times have you graced the court for the Silver Ferns in a World Cup? Because for me, it's 0. But you?
Rude. It's 0 as well. Oh. But still an expert. I've taken the court for the Silver Ferns once. So once a Silver Fern, always a Silver Fern, right?
Exactly. I think there's a special group, isn't there, on Facebook for Silver Fern alumni. Are you part of that?
I am not. That is rude.
I take it back. There's no such thing. Doesn't exist.
Might go find it now.
Yeah.
Anyway,
ask
Sammy,
to request to join.
Anyway, Sammy, why are we here? Like, what are we going to do this for? Because, right, there's too much airy-fairiness out there. We need a player's point of view. We know everything. Is that correct?
Exactly. And do you know what? We also understand sometimes we don't know everything, and that's okay as well, because there are so many people sitting at home on the couch who probably know more than we do or think that they know more than we do. So I reckon we can tap into a bit of their knowledge as well, see what the fans are thinking, and then chuck our expert comments on top of that and mash it all up and see where we go from there. And just, I hope to enjoy this Netball World Cup for the pure fact that it's a little bit of netball this year. And actually my franchise team, I was given the nickname Netball, and apparently in rugby, guys who are really into rugby get called rugby. And so the team was like, oh, we're going to call you Netball, which made me laugh because I don't actually watch a lot of netball outside of what I have to watch. But I just like...
You're just good. That's all.
Yeah,
I know it.
Yeah,
I've played with you before. I know it. Anyway, for people who can't see us and maybe don't even know us, who the heck are you? And they might not know me. I'm Aunty E some days, or E, big E. I'm 6'3" tall, but in the screen I can fit. So...
I'm Sammy. I'm not 6'3", but I quite enjoy this. When people see me in the street, they often say, "Oh wow, you're actually taller in real life." I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. It's actually an all good compliment.
That's nicer than what they say to me, because they say, "How's the air up there?"
Yeah,
so, you're welcome. Anyway, let's get on to some netball, since you're netball. And we're here to talk about World Cup.
Yeah, there's a few things we can run through before we actually get to the World Cup, right? Because obviously, if we take the Silver Ferns, for example, they didn't just start. I think they've landed down South Africa already. They got the first game this coming weekend, but they don't just, hit the ground running, boom, they're into it, no prep needed. So we've been following a few of them in the build-up, and they've done a few, been around the place, done a few things here and there to get themselves organised. What would that actually look like for people at home who just, all everyone really sees is them turning up to the netball court? What are we actually talking about in terms of their prep?
So I guess I've got the travel, right? So we start with how you get there. But actually before that, we start with everything that happens before you leave. So you've got camp, you've got the build-up. If we talk about that, then it's like everyone is involved, because essentially it's what ANZ does to build their team, right? What happens, Sammy? They go to camp, right? What does camp look like? You've been to more camps than me, but of course we know what they feel like, because they make you feel sick half the time.
Oh, yeah. And the funny thing is, in the lead up to a big event like this, there's a huge squad before the actual team gets picked. And there's the classic, not everybody can get on that plane, but everybody's involved. And so, it's not the first thing I think of when they ring up and tell me that I've been dropped. I don't automatically go, "Oh, goods, I'm still involved." But, a few weeks down the track when you get over the grieving process, it's okay. So, there's that. Yeah. So there's that. There's the camp situation where you all just, you bust your lungs. And I think they've had 3 of them. And you know as well, because you've been to a few, there are just some places now that you get, what do you get?
Anxiety,
the biggest
right?
ick.
Yeah.
Anxiety. You get, you have nightmares about them.
I do. I know there's one lobby, I think it's in Hamilton. I only know it when I walk in there and I'm like, ooh, because you just know exactly that feeling that you went through that camp, like, and it's like Silver Ferns camp. And obviously they're hard out on their fitness and things, so you know what that feels like. Where is somewhere for you? Is it a lobby? Because mine's the lobby.
Yeah, it's also a lobby. It's the reception area at the AUT building, like the AUT Sports Centre. And there's Subway in the reception, which normally Subway is like one of my favourite smells. You know, that beautiful baked bread and it's so delicious. And then now every time I go in there or smell Subway, all I think of is like dry retching, running shuttles, lying dead on the ground, sore muscles, wishing I was at home. So, yeah, there's not great memories there.
But at the same time, right, you wish you were in the team. So you're just like, why is this a battle? Like, yeah. I want to go home, but I want to be in this team and continue to die.
It's a serious, seriously stuffs with your brain, because there's, like I said before, when you don't get picked in the team, you don't automatically go, oh, man, now I don't have to like go to AUT and smell Subway and feel like I'm dying. I don't think like that. Maybe I need a list in front of me when you don't get picked in the team. Why is that a good thing? All these things that you don't have to put up with. Anyway, I digress.
Exactly. We've got girls who are going away to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the only time we were probably ever in the room for that selection for World Cup, and that was the last time, right?
Yes. Yes. So we were both involved. So the previous World Cup cycle in 2019, the Silver Ferns won that year, just in case you didn't know. That year was the classic. Even if you're not in the team, everybody's part of this journey. It was just beautiful, really. You just had to be there for it. But we were sitting in a room and we had been at a camp. So there was the New Zealand A team and then the Silver Ferns, and we all combined to do this lovely evening session where we all sat in a room together and, I don't know, talked about our feelings.
It's a sports psych session, right? So in that whole session, we get the sports psych. So I think he was there.
Well, that makes sense.
For the people who don't know, they don't know there's a sports psych around. So there does come a sports psych with us.
It's facilitated, right? It's not just a bunch of girls letting their emotions out.
Having a court session, kangaroo court session, not what's going on here. But okay, keep going. Sorry.
Well, you remember as well as I do, I'm sure. So we were all sitting in a room and we basically were split in half. So we had the New Zealand A team on one side and the Silver Ferns on the other side. And we just like stared at each other kind of thing, locking eyes with whoever was opposite you. And we were talking about, somebody stood up and on the Silver Fern side and said, you know, the classic, we couldn't have done this without you. We needed you to push us to get to the position that we're in now, rah-de-rah.
We still had a couple of games to play after this meeting, right? We were playing against them to push them. Yeah. And so they stood up and said that. And you keep going. Because you're
No, you go.
No, because I feel like I was the person who said it.
Yeah, exactly. Which way you say it? So, okay, I'll get it up to the point where you say what you said. So we're sitting across from the room from there. We've got a few games to play. And Erena was in our team, New Zealand A. And we also had someone else. I think it was Sulu got up as well because they were, you guys are just like the big dogs, been around, done that. And they said something really cool. They said that we might fight like sisters on the netball court, but we will back each other like sisters when we're not there.
Yeah, it was like, I'm going to take you out on the netball court, so be aware because I want your space as well as I want to push you as hard as I can. But when you go away, no, I'm pushing you hard because you're my sister, so I hope you're all good when you go away. So we've got to like basically raise them up before they go.
I'm going to fuck you up, but I got your back.
I think that's what I said. That's how I said it. I think that's how I said it. You nailed it, Tammy. Thanks for attempting to be me.
Perfect.
Right. What I think the world wants to hear, is the whole fitness testing, right? There's this big thing about Knowles and fitness testing. And I guess the big thing was my mate Pedra, she didn't get in. I know that's been sitting there. People probably over it now and like, oh, well, in Knowles we trust and we're still going. But she still didn't make it. And she come out and actually said, it was about her fitness and was it like not being able to withstand the trainings, because I was training 3 times a day for 5 days for camp, and that's essentially what they would have to do for games and stuff, like that level of intensity. Your thoughts on that, Sammy?
So Peter Toyava was a top of high conversation,
elite player,
especially on all those chat pages that we just love to not be a part of. So she didn't make the Ferns, and she was like this key combination, her and Grace Nweke. It was her fitness. And New Zealand's actually the only team, I'm pretty sure, who have a benchmark for the yo-yo. So if anyone who's listening doesn't understand, so the yo-yo is kind of like, take yourself back to high school days when you had to run a beep test and it was just awful. You either gave it a good go because you were that kid in PE, or you just didn't because you were mentally sane. But, of course, I was the kid that gave a good crack in PE because PE is basically the Olympics, right? So anyway, the yo-yo test is a bit like the beep test where you run back and forth between 2 markers and then the speed progressively increases and you get a break at the end of each shuttle.
You're making me feel sick. You sound like the videotape that sounds like back and forth between 2 markers.
I could recite the whole thing for you if you want.
I know you could because you run to like 20-something. Okay, keep going.
So anyway, there's a high level, a relatively high standard of yo-yo benchmark, which Peter got, and I think pretty much everybody in New Zealand got it this year. So everybody was up for grabs. But the thing was, and this is what Knowles said, right? I'm not making this up. She said,
I think it came out on an interview.
Yeah, she said because the players, they have to be able to play 8 games in 10 days, which is what the World Cup requires. And then they've got 3 camps, and each training camp is around about 3 to 5 days, and each of the days is about 3 trainings. So you had to be fit, basically. And I don't know, some people can run a yo-yo and some people can't. Think back to PE class.
Look, I'm not saying this is what happened, but I feel like sometimes you just got to have an excuse of why you don't want someone. And I don't know, maybe that's what happened, It comes back to something that maybe someone else was fitter. Okay, Sammy, what is your yo-yo marking? What do you get?
I don't need to think about that right now, E.
Nah, tell us.
It is off-season.
Tell us, because what I want to say is the benchmark is like 16.3. How do you feel making whatever number you make? And like I'm over here and all I have to do is make 16.3. So I say you make I'll just give them 19. You make 19, whatever. How do you feel making 19? And all I got to do is make 16.3. You do an extra maybe 30 shuttles on my whatever I've done, 20. What does that make you feel? Because even though you've made the benchmark, you can't just stop there, right?
In my head, it's not the benchmark for me.
Yeah.
Because Peter's a great example. Like, she didn't make it because she wasn't fit, but she made the benchmark. So when you're a midi, it just doesn't count for anything, which is sad. All right, moving on. So the girls have done their training camps. They've been to these awful places that smell like bad memories. And then they're on their way to the World Cup, which I think they got on the plane a couple of days ago. And I just find this part really interesting because South Africa is considered a long haul flight. If you were in the All Blacks or anybody or a Super Rugby team and you're going to South Africa, you fly in business or you fly at least in a section of the plane where you can stretch your legs out. Not us netballers. Don't be silly and even thinking that's a thing. I've flown to the UK about 3 or 4 times with the Silver Ferns, and not once have I even got a damn exit row, let alone blooming premium economy.
You're the shortest.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't need the exit row if we're all sitting there, and I'll give the exit row to Kelly Jury's 6'4", but that's okay. I'm fine with that. But the thing is, these girls are going to fly to the World Cup, and then they're going to be all bloody cramped up, and I don't know, sore backs and all these sort of things. But it keeps them humble.
It does keep them humble, and you got to think about teams like maybe Malawi or something. They probably walk. Oh, they wouldn't walk, but they probably walk from their house to town to I seen a story on. Who was it one time? They walked to their netball and it was miles away.
Every Ugandan team is catching a bus to get to South Africa.
How far is that? Do you know?
Well, I don't know. It varies.
That's terrible. That's sad because I think 4 season here at Magic, I nearly sulked the whole time because we caught a bus from Hamilton to Auckland. Well, we drove early in the morning from Rotorua to Hamilton, got on the bus and drove on the bus to Auckland and played that day. I sulked that day. So this poor Ugandans, I feel them. Feel for them. What else have we done? Oh, we've had some nasty stays. Hope at least they've got some good hotels or something. Because it's World Cup, right? It's good rooms.
Yeah, it's World Cup. I'm pretty sure most of the teams will be on par with each other in terms of the hotels they're staying, but I might be making that up. Maybe some people at backpackers, who knows? But I think the Ferns will have a pool at their place, so it's got to be pretty good. I'd say it's gated every time. Like, I've been to South Africa a few times as well. And okay, so this is a good story. In South Africa, there is a designated like head of security per team, I think per team, or definitely for the Silver Ferns. And so this guy looks after the Silver Ferns. And
are they hot?
No.
Okay, keep going.
His job when he's not doing security is actually going out and hunting poachers in the African wildlife. What? He hunts poachers, as in...
That's gangster.
Yes, it is gangsters. So, that's yeah, hot, so he's the head of security.
You said he's not hot. That's hot. That's hot.
Okay. He has a hot job.
I like that.
Yeah, so there's good security over there. And I just remember being absolutely terrified. I walked out of the hotel in bare feet one day and he told me off because who knows what's on the ground. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, could be needles. Needles.
Wow. Whoa. Well, I had that in Australia. So I remember when I used to play for Fever, I used to walk around everywhere, obviously from Rotorua, everywhere in my bare feet. And I'd walk into training. He used to ground me all the time. I never learned. And I was like, my feet are hard. It's all good. Yeah. We're from New Zealand, mate.
No needle can penetrate. Have you seen the thickness of my sole?
Have you seen the roughness? We've got nipple feet. Have you seen the roughness of my calluses? Are they calluses?
We have no touch on the bottom of our feet because the skin is that thick.
Because we walk around with no shoes.
No sensation.
What is some of the worst places you've stayed? We've stayed somewhere together, and I don't know if that's one of the worst places. I mean, I'm grateful for a roof over my head and a bed to sleep in. But do you remember that time we were playing for Magic and I hope the World Cup, no one is doing this, like you said, backpacking, but we stayed in a Year 9 dorm. Do you remember that?
How could I forget? I was entered this bedroom, a single room, but it was like a classic dorm. There's like a foot gap between the top and the wall. I don't know why they don't make walls right up. I don't know. Is it a way to climb over and see your mates? It was a single room. And the thing that sticks in my memory is lying on the bed, looking up at this Year 9's photo display on the wall with her 12-year-old boyfriend. And I was just like, what am I doing here? Gosh.
I'm going to play a game tomorrow. Good night, boyfriend. Oh, somebody else. And your family. Talk
about getting humbled.
It's not how World Cup's like that.
Heck no. So the World Cup itself is pretty full on. I think I said before, there's 8 games in 10 days. They get 1 day off between pool play and finals and no day off between semis and finals. Like, it is seriously jam-packed.
Yeah, I didn't understand this. I suppose nobody really understands the pools and the way it's set up. We all just wait and see who they play and go, is this good enough to watch? And then who are we heading for finals? And you kind of look at each pool and go, okay, they'll make it. We'll wait for that. But I reckon some of these games might be worth watching for pool play, right?
Yeah, I guess it might. Well, you never know. I pray for an upset because it makes it interesting. Otherwise, you're just playing 6 games to get to a top 4 who you probably have already picked. Like, you've definitely got Australia, you got New Zealand, you got Jamaica, and you got England, I think. South Africa may or may not be part of that mix. But you're playing like all these games to get to this top 4, which I guess it's just what a tournament is. If we're going to be commenting on every single game, we're going to have to watch all these games. How do you feel about that?
Well, you know me. I love my video review.
You do?
No, I don't. I really, really don't. I had to watch Tonga just secretly.
Yeah, there's 16 teams, I think, in total. And they all range in current world rankings from obviously number 1 to somehow, even though they're in the top 16, Singapore ranked 28th in the world. And they're in our pool, yeah. So
get it, Singapore. We play Singapore. Who else do we play?
Yeah, we play Trinidad and Tobago, who are apparently known as the Calypso Girls.
I love them.
And I just thought Calypsos were an ice cream, so that's fun. And the Ugandans, as well. We play the Ugandan team, and they're called the She Cranes.
They did really well at past 5 too. And there was a girl, I'm pretty sure it's She Crane. Is it She Crane or was it Trinidad and Tobago? No, it was Ukraine. Ukraine.
Ukraine.
It was Uganda. And I'm pretty sure she's in there. And it was Daystar. And I just like that name.
Daystar. That has superstar potential.
I know. I need to go back and don't trust my facts people. I'm not the facts person at Sandy. But I think she's good. I thought she was cool.
Yeah, man.
So Singapore, Uganda, and Trinidad and Tobago.
I mean, we can safely say, I think, let's do a prediction now. They'll probably win. So that's good. Silver Ferns, I mean, will win.
What do you think we see from that? Because obviously, and how do you feel about that? Because as players, it's so, like those aren't like the best games leading into the next lot of games, right? Because you're going to have them. Do we see combinations? Does Knowles play some random combinations out there?
Yeah. Do you know what I think she should do? I think she should put all the bibs in the middle, chuck them in the air, and everybody grab what bib they want, and then you just play that position. Because Knowles always goes on about you need to understand everybody else's position. What is the goalkeeper's role? I don't care if you're a centre. You need to know that. So like I said, like I'm called netball. I would be totally suited to that style of game.
That's my favourite game to play.
Yeah, that type of rotation. And like if you don't grab a bib, then maybe you become the umpire or the coach or something like that. I think that would make it quite interesting.
No, we're not playing that game.
Oh.
I don't like playing umpire. Oh, yes, I do actually. I quite like calling out calls on the game if you play it against me or not coming around.
Exactly. Umpiring is such a powerful position to be in. I can see myself being one day.
Stop it. Yeah, you probably could, but you're not going to. Okay, we play pool play. Uganda, Singapore,
and T&T. Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, fascinating fact about Trinidad and Tobago. So they are 11th ranked currently, but besides Australia and New Zealand, they are the only other team to have won a Netball World Cup. Like, come on, that's outrageous.
I read that, and something said about it must have been played differently because they played 9 games, but all teams won 8 games each, and then they played against each other. So Trinidad and Tobago must have beaten like Australia, and Australia beat New Zealand, and New Zealand beat whatever. Like, so they all won the same point. So they all won World Cup. That must be why everything changed up. They were like, no, we
back in the round robin days.
It's like fair play award. We all win.
Yeah. So, what?
But
I don't know how you can call it a Netball World Cup when you don't even have a final. Anyway, they did things differently back then. Who am I to even say? They took a boat to the Netball World Cup. I don't know if it was that year. There's another year. I've seen footage of them throwing balls over the side of the ship. Yeah, talk about cattle class. I think we've got it better than they did. So they trained on the ship. What were they passing
to, the Dolphins?
Yeah, I know. They need to work on their passing, clearly.
I love that. Okay, we play, pool play, we cross over. What happens to crossover? Who goes there?
So it's quite confusing and it's really hard to figure it out. But basically there's 4 pools, and then at the end of pool play, the top 3 teams in each pool cross over with the team next to them, with the pool next to them. So like A and B pools cross over, and then C and D pools cross over. And so then you got 6 in a pool, and then you play the other teams you haven't played. And then out of that, you get your top 4, and then you play semis and finals. So we've got crossover with South Africa and Jamaica. So after our first 3 games, that's okay. Like we'll probably play the bib game, chuck the bibs up, but then after that, it's probably going to have to get a bit serious and, maybe play in your position that you normally play in kind of situation, because we're going to have to beat both those teams to actually make it into the semi-finals.
Because then we'll be able to have the easier road there, right?
Yeah, if we beat both those teams, then we'll probably play England.
Oh, she said it. She said it.
Predictions.
I was going to say, what big games do we watch out for then?
I think a couple of the games that we should watch is, Aussie versus Tonga, because Monia Gerard played for the Diamonds for many years, and now she's going to go back and play against Aussie. So they've got them in pool play. They'll be mean. And then I think, an old blood battle between England and Scotland will be quite good, although England will probably just roll over Scotland as per usual, which will be a bit sad. And then you got Tonga and Fiji, Battle of the Islands, they'll go good.
I wonder if we'll see, there's a really bad thing to say. It's going to say, I wonder if we'll see a hula or something, some drums. I don't know, because that's what I want to see from Jamaica, okay? Just putting it out there. Jamaica be my team. I want to see them dance. I want to see them play. I want to see some play. Are they playing South Africa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's a game to watch just to see what Jamaica has to bring.
So part of our favourite part of being in netball teams and going away on tour and stuff is that there's so much content that could be created, right? There's so much. Oh my gosh, you've got the most, like, it's basically
it's given to you, right? It's like right there in your hands. And I feel like as a content person, they are missing opportunities. And I don't know if you know this all, but I've done a bit of work with media. Well, we both have now, Sammy. Welcome. And like, we just don't give the same opportunities to the media as like any other team does. Like if you look at Silver Ferns, you look at the All Blacks, to be honest, my bad All Blacks, you aren't doing as great with your content. Come on, step it up. And you're quite standoffish and you're quite straight up. And I suppose if I was going to ask you a question, I already know the answer because you're going to be straight 180. But the Warriors, they got their content game down pat. They straight off their games talking. Straight to I don't know if I can do that. It'd be really hard as a player, but they nail him. And I
think they don't have there's no fear around if you're yourself. Nobody's told us that we have to be a certain way or change your personality. But I feel like there's a bit of pressure to do that maybe.
No, do not remember we did used to have media
training.
Courses. Yeah, media training. I feel like that's what they have. And I'm like, come on, stop getting boring. Was I a little bit scared doing this podcast and what you could say and how it could hold you against you, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see what happens in the next coming episodes. Might have something to say, right?
The backlash.
But there is media. It is a content beast out there. I mean, we're already on TV. We're already playing. Come on, get in there. What would you want to see, Sam? What do you want to see from Silver Fern? Content. I don't think they actually have their content creator. I think she's on holiday. Just FYI. Her name's April. She's on holiday. I already know it.
April, come on, man. It's the Netball World Cup.
It's holiday time. That's why we're here.
Priorities.
That's why we're here.
It's called life balance. You've done your research.
Yeah, but what would you want to see?
I just want to see just less formalness around it. Like,
what about no lies? Like if I said to you, you'll play the game, right? And I'm like, hey, Sammy, great game. How did you feel the Silver Ferns went today? And how did you got player of the game? How did you feel you went?
Okay, I've seen this only a couple times from some players, and I frickin' rate it. When they go, I don't know why they gave it to me because I was pretty trash today.
I would really want to say I haven't got it just FYI in the last year, but I really got to a point where I was like, I just want to say, who's picking this? Like, who is actually picking player of the game today?
What if you didn't get player of the day? And somebody said, you must be so proud of such and such getting player of the day.
There you go.
And you know that they were trash. What would you say?
You know what you'd say because you're on TV or whatnot. You'd say, oh, yeah, no, she played great. But probably in your head, you're like, well, I thought I had a great game too.
What about me?
We're out here not getting. What's in it for me?
Imagine it. Okay, well, if you said something like that, chances of a run bucks at training with that person.
Oh, you know me, Sammy. Run bucks' chances are always 10 out of 10. You know me. I'm run bucks queen at training.
Well, I think this segues quite nicely into our bingo game that we've come up with for World Cup. So basically, maybe we'll start with pool play bingo. So if you can tick off any of these things in pool play bingo, then you
win. Get out your pen, get out your paper, write down the pool play bingo. Okay. Kia ora, welcome to bingo with Erena and Sam. Pool play edition.
Number 1, a close-up on Nolan Totoa saying, well done, good girl.
Does he have the clapping hands? Well done. Clapping hands, right?
Yeah.
And number 2, a captain interview. And the captain says, lots of takeaways, or, you have to give some respect to the opposition. We always respect our opposition. And, we're just grateful to be here.
Number 3, a no-look pass. Tune into the Tongan games because I think you'll find Kat Duivati doing something like that.
Number 4, a toss-up, just because the umpires missed something.
Shock horror. Okay, number 5. 2 players, I'm not sure if this is going to happen. I've never seen it before, but 2 players having rumbles on court, like full rumbles, like someone gets smoked in the face. I'd love to see it.
Thrown to the floor? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the one where they hold the ball together and throw them to the floor.
Oh, yeah. That's for passive-aggressive, though. You got the ball involved. It's like, it's just netball. I want to see no ball involved. I want to see fists flying.
That's all right. Number 6, a coach. This is my personal favourite. A coach caught on camera swearing. Personal favourite. Any swear word, we'll take it.
Bonus point if they actually swear in an interview.
Ooh.
All right. Commentators saying, such and such, take a bow, because she did such a good thing.
Okay. Number 8, and I'll tell you a possible team that you'll find this from, but it's a player yelling, let's go! And they're kind of like, yes, go! It's I know you can't see me, but it's a hand with the hands in the air. So it's the praise the Lord, hands up. It's a praising type of
pumping the image. Team up. Let's go!
Yes, let's go! Oh, those look like bird arms. And you're likely to see that mostly, we call them in some of our teams the England arms. So if you find one in there, that seem to find it, maybe.
All right. The appearance of a vuvuzela.
What's that?
This is South African musical instrument.
Can we?
Very special to the African culture. It's one of those long things that goes, but really loud. And they last made an appearance at the 2010 Soccer World Cup or Football World Cup that was in South Africa. And then I think they got banned from stadiums. Anyway, bring it back. Put it in the netball stadium. Blast the ears off that old lady sitting in front of you. Make her really enjoy her time.
She probably paid a lot of money to catch a flight there. And
that lady will turn around and say that too. And I hope the person with the instrument just says, you know what, me too.
So you go back in her ear with the Buddha thing. No, and last but not least, the best. And possibly, if you were going to the World Cup, if you were there, maybe you could be this person. It would be the first ever netball streaker. Let's see it.
There is a prize. There is a certain prize for whoever is the first ever netball streaker. Full streaker. Come on, don't be like,
come see us.
Half-assed about it.
Yeah, we don't want none of this pitch invading stuff. This is streaking.
Don't be holding your phone making a TikTok. All right, shall we finish off with some
nice
netball forum chat?
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I'd change this on you a little bit. This is going to be a little bit of context. I have an Aunty Faye.
We all have an Aunty Faye.
We all do. There's a little bit of Aunty Faye in all of us. So she is very honest. Her opinion is honest. She's straight up. She'll just
she don't give a shit.
No, she don't. She loves a kōrero. Loves a kōrero. So the kōrero for anyone out there is a talk. She loves to chit chat. She loves to come find you. And she's the coolest. She's your auntie. She's the auntie you want. So today, and I'm going to be Aunty Faye, but I'm Aunty E. All right? Aunty Faye is Aunty E today. And I got a couple of questions for you, Sammy. So I was going through a netball forum that we shall not speak of. I want to know, these are some questions, maybe from some fans that don't even know that they are fans yet, but what gets no recognition but is used the most at Netball World Cup?
The ice sweat towel.
Nice. Close. Strapping tape.
Oh.
Imagine the amount of strapping tape that's going on there.
What? So there's a right answer? Dang, I would have thought harder. Okay, yes, strapping tape, definitely.
Okay,
strapping tape.
Have you heard of this platform Swish?
Yes. I can't say I'm on it.
Okay, well, I took myself off.
I know you are.
I took myself off it just so I could ask this question. So there's a couple of players on there. One being Janelle Fowler. How much do you think she's worth for a video for Happy Birthday?
Or so if I messaged...
you messaged Swish and you wanted Janelle Fowler to make your Happy Birthday video. How much do you think your video would be worth?
Oh, surely nothing more than $20.
Ooh, that was the other player I was going to say is the other person who's actually Karen Berger, our own Fern.
No, wait, how much is Janelle?
No, she's $100.
$100?
This says $100. That's some Jamaican. She got to take some time out to Jamaican new video. So $100, yeah. But that's what
she better be singing and dancing on that video, I tell you.
Yeah, well, that's what I do sometimes. But okay, so the next person was Karen Berger.
Karen Berger.
If Janelle is $100, how much is our very own Fern, Karen Berger?
Okay, well, if Janelle Fowler's worth $100, Karen's got to be worth $50.
No, Aunty Faye says no, she's not.
Is she underselling herself?
She is. She's only $25. I think it could be Aussie dollars. I don't know how much Aussie dollars that is, but
So is Swish, tell me if I'm wrong, is Swish like the athlete's version of OnlyFans?
Whoa. Correct. You are correct. I never thought of it like that. It is.
All right. I need to get on this. Sell myself. Damn.
Whoa. Okay. So
I know a few people who'd want to buy a video off me. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. Okay. So you can't just tell the people that and not tell them who wants a video. Okay. So a fan had a question. So recently we saw a photo of one of our Silver Ferns traveling, and she took a photo with one of the Aussie Diamonds. And it's not actually a fan, it was someone on a forum. Wanted to know, can players from different teams share rooms? So we were talking about how the teams do it.
Like, what the heck does this person think happens at a Netball World Cup? Everyone just sits around in a circle and sings Kumbaya and like holds hands with the opposition. It's a freaking World Cup.
Well,
the opposition.
They might think that if I was going and say someone like my mate Cassie Brown was there, because I'm just saying two people who are at the World Cup, right? And they were there, but they might think that we might be like, can we be roomies, me and her? That never happened.
It's a no. Oh, kia ora, Aunty Faye. Thank you for all those lovely questions. I appreciate
Aunty E.
your insights into the matter. It's very important to hear from you every week. Oh, every day in our lives. So that basically wraps us up, right? We've. Do you feel much more informed, Erena, of the Netball World Cup?
Well, yes, I know who's in our team. Actually, we're proud of us. We got through our first podcast, so congratulations.
Yo.
Proud. Yeah, we're here. But yes, I am. Thank you, Sammy, for your help.
Oh, it's good fun. So going forward, we will be covering Aunty Faye will return. We'll be checking off the netball bingo, but most importantly, we're going to be tuning in the day after the Ferns play. So if they play in the evening, we'll check in the next morning and we're going to cover the facts of the game, how we see it, anything you might have missed, some more chat from the fans because that's important. Anything else?
Yeah, no, that's it. We come back. They play 7 p.m. to start off Friday night. First game up. So
New Zealand time.
Make sure you watch that. If you don't, it's okay because we've got all the goss here for you. We've got all the news. We've got everything to come back.
Yeah. We basically will do the watching for you and then just tell you everything you needed to know. And there's probably a lot you don't. So no worries. And yeah, grateful to be reporting on it.
Court session, we out.